think it's
You've experienced things at school. You know, you live in a quite a diverse community where you've got Muslims and non-Muslims. You've been to schools where there've been a mixture of Muslims and non-Muslims. What's been your experiences?
I mean, the article's quite funny, to be honest. I mean, you could say it's a bit biased. You could. How do we even know the scientist may have been not part of any religion himself? And I think the test that he carried out, the experiment that he did to get his results, was not really. You can't call that experiment accurate. It was something to do with stickers or something like that. How many stickers you share? I think it's not really.
I mean, what's your experiences been in schools? I mean, you've got non-Muslim friends, I'm guessing. You've got Muslim friends. You know, to me, the only way really to sort of like assess the reality a lot of times is to see the reality from where it is. So when you're engaged with society, to carry out a test, right, in a closed environment, sometimes is not reflective of real attitudes. You know, if I say to you, if I put you into a room and say, right, you know, I've got all these things laid out here, I want to see what you guys are going to do with it. It's a bit artificial. It's not natural. But when you're engaged in society, when you're out and about and you're interacting with people, that's natural. That's natural when you see how many people are giving towards you and how many are not. That's when you find out how people behave. And I can tell you from my own experiences that I've worked with non-Muslims and I work with Muslims, and I find, alhamdulillah, those that are practicing Muslims, they're very giving. They're very, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not selfish, they're very self-giving in terms of, you know, many times I've gone out of my way to pick people up and drop them off. But you find with some of the non-Muslim colleagues, and this is not going across the board, okay, so I don't want people thinking that that I'm kind of like penciling everyone in the same manner. Unless you're going in their direction, they don't go out the way for you. Yeah, so unless you're going home in the direction they're going, they will give you a lift. But if you're not, they won't. And it's unusual for them to find somebody that will go out of their way, because for them, they look at it as a cost. It's a cost for me to drop you off. So if you're going my way, I'll drop you off that way. Whereas I can recall times where I'd drop people off out of the way and I'd go to other parts of the city to drop them off and come back home. And it was a cost on me, and which I didn't look at it like that, because for me that action was a rewardable action. That action for me was gaining reward in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is it that the secular society seeks? What value do they seek when they do an action? They don't seek any value other than they might look at it from an economic point of view. That is this action costing me? And if it's costing me, can I afford it? That's how they will view it. But for me as a Muslim, I don't look at it and say, if I help this non-Muslim out here or this Muslim out over here, I'm not associating the action with the value. I'm not thinking that, what will it cost me? If I get this guy something to eat, it's going to cost me £5. But I rather look at it from the point of view that if I buy this guy something to eat, I'm going to get a reward for it. When he eats and he's satisfied and he's full, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with me. That's my outlook. That's the way I look at things, Mari Hussein. So for me, that's the way I perceive an action. So what is it that the secular society or the secular person, how do they view an action?
I think about, if I want to do something good, or if I think about doing something bad, first I think about, will God be pleased with me if I do this? Will He be angry if I do this or that? And if I was going to do something that will benefit somebody, I'll do it straight away because I know I'm going to get reward for it.
No, I mean,
you see where I'm going with this? I mean, you know, when you look at an action, when you do something for your friend, what prompts you to do it? Is it because he's your friend, or if you go out the way to help somebody, what makes you do it? You want to comment on this, Maria?
Yeah.
Have I done something funny there, guys? Sorry, I was in the middle of I was sat on my wonderful chair and suddenly it dropped down to the bottom, and I think these guys found it.
If you want to do something for someone else, say like your friend, maybe, and your parents, then
Stop laughing at me.
like,
Take it serious, please.
okay, if you're gonna do something for somebody, I'd think about like if I'm pleasing God and how much that person does for me. So like, say if I was gonna do something for my dad, I'd think about how much he does for me and I'll do it.
to be honest, I don't actually mind doing things for people.
But what motivates you? Do you have a motivation? Do you have something inside you, inner drive that pushes you to do a good action?
I just think of, well, it depends on the person and who they are. Because I guess if I don't know, if you're a friend or if you're somebody that I know, and
what if it was a complete stranger, you didn't know them at all? What would you do? Would you go out of the way for them or not?
Depends what they're asking me to do.
They ask for help, what do you do? Do you help them, or do you give them minimum help, or do you go out of the way? Do you sort of like, you know, what prompts you, what motivates you to do a good action? I mean, I've explained to you that when somebody comes to me, you know, what kicks in for me is my belief. I think to myself, I'm a Muslim. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me certain terms and conditions. He's set me a certain criteria. So if I do a good action here, I'll be pleasing Him because I'm doing it to please Allah. That's my motivation. You know, so when you set that concept in your mind and it comes alive, that's an opportunity for you to execute it, to apply it, to implement it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I was like, if it's a stranger or random person, I would help them, because I mean, if you think about it, if when you're in a time of need, the only people that are going to help you is people that maybe you have done something for them before, or it could just be anybody who helps you. And if you're not helping people when they're in times of need, then what makes you say that you're going to get help when you need the help? Don't really know.
And we'll play some nasheed, and we'll be back very shortly after this short little nasheed for you. Assalamu alaikum.